Outside Edge has built a reputation for helping hockey players reach their potential through on-ice development, off-ice training, and mental coaching. Summer programming features KPI-based strength and conditioning programs for pro, junior, midget, bantam, and peewee. Train with Outside Edge. Prepare to perform.
John Moore here at the 2018 Atlantic Major Midget Championships in East Hants, joined by International Scouting Services Chris Mooring here to talk about some of the prospects playing in this tournament. 5 teams, Chris, but a couple of top prospects projected as first rounders perhaps. Dartmouth defenseman Ben Roode and the Moncton Flyers defenseman Lukas Cormier.
Yeah, both are kind of different looking prospects anyway. Cormier is a smaller defenseman, very mobile, lots of skill, sees the ice extremely well. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Gerard, who played for Shawinigan a couple of years ago, now in the NHL. Needs to get bigger and stronger, a lot of skill, a lot of hockey sense, really pushes the play from the back end. Roode is a different type of player. He's a very good size, two-way defenseman. I really think that he's got really good offensive instincts. And he's got the skills too. Very, very big at 6'3", 6'3.5", mobile, good offensive skill set, but also a good understanding of the game in the defensive zone as well.
Hazard to guess which one goes first?
I would say my guess would be Cormier. Not that the upside wouldn't be any more for Roode in the future as he develops, but he's a little bit more raw. These guys are drafting for the QMJHL, and he's going to be kind of a difference maker from the back end for sure.
Let's talk about some of Cormier's teammates and again prospects here. Cole Cormier, the forward.
Cole is kind of an undersized energy guy, center, two-way, good skill set, likes to carry the puck. There's not a lot of bad things to say, except for maybe he's a little undersized. I think if he was 5'11", closer to 6 feet, we'd be talking about him in the first round with the other guys.
And most of the time, he's his line mate, Yannic Bastarache, another prospect.
Yeah, Yannic's a big winger, can play physical, also has some hands around the net, can score, pretty good shot. Really makes room for his teammates out there, so he's a good-looking player. He kind of projects as that middle six QMJHL power forward type.
And the other prospect in that lineup, Pat LeBlanc, the winger.
Pat's a little bit more of a goal scorer, I think. He's just kind of average size, and his skating needs a little bit of work, but I think he's got good instincts and he's got some scoring upside.
Kensington Wild with a prospect in Marc Richard.
Yeah, Marc's a little bit like Richards he's got a little bit of scoring upside. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but he can get to the places where he needs to go to score some goals. He's got pretty good hands and he skates pretty well, so he's kind of one of those mid to late rounders that could turn out to be a pretty good middle six type of player.
You know, one team we don't get a chance to see, at least I don't get a chance to see a lot, the St. John's Maple Leafs, but they've got a prospect in their lineup, a big forward, French.
Yeah, Alex French, he's a kid that's a little over 6 feet, 6'1" or so, skates pretty well, has a lot of those bottom six type qualities that you're looking for. He's got enough hands, got enough intellect. I think he sees the game pretty well, he passes the puck. But he kind of fits into that bottom six kind of mold of a player with some development.
Cole Harbour Wolfpack, the hosts here, and they're 2-0 as we speak. Let's start with Gavin Watt.
Watt, yes. Gavin Watt, he's an interesting prospect. He was a really, really good scoring bantam. And it took a little bit of time to get going this year, and I think he needed to feel his way around the league a little bit. But he's really starting to play since Christmas time with a lot of energy, a lot of compete. He kind of projects to me right now as being a bottom six type of, guys that character energy guy, but he's got some scoring ability too. So if that comes through, he could be a really good kind of middle six to bottom six type of guy. for the Q.
Another prospect, and he's a scoring forward, Brady Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, to me, he's more of a playmaker, to tell you the truth. I see him as kind of that two-way center. He needs to get bigger. He's small, so he needs to kind of put on some strength and be able to work his way around the ice a little bit better, especially at the higher next level. But he's smart. He's got some wheels underneath him. He competes. And he's one of those guys who's probably a mid to late round guy that a team's going to take a chance on because he's got the skill set that people can project.
Well, he had a nice goal here today, but we'll continue to follow him as the tournament. The other one is Landon Miron-Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson is he's a kid that, again, he's kind of a leader out there. I find he likes to play a good, hard two-way game. He's physical. Plus, he has good intellect around the ice. Knows where to be. The one thing that he needs to work on is his skating and his speed. But he's strong with the puck, and he protects puck well, and he can see the ice. He just needs that skating is the thing that's going to hold him back, if anything.
Well, we started talking about Dartmouth, the Whalers defenseman Ben Roode. Let's wrap it up here with a number of prospects in their lineup. Let's start with the forward, Ben Allison.
Ben Allison, he's an interesting prospect, I think. I see him as a guy that can play top two lines. He's smart. He competes. He has all the skill set to be a top two line, good complementary type player. He can score a little bit. He's got some playmaking upside. One thing he needs to work on is get quicker. He needs to be that first couple steps plus, that stride needs to be a little bit smoother and generate a little bit more speed through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone. But he's one of those guys. It's all in how much his skating's going to improve, because I think the intelligence is there and the skills are there to be a top two line player.
Speaking of skill, speed, and intelligence, Jake Quillan, another forward.
I think if he was coming to the Q, if a team thought that he was coming to the Q, he could be a first rounder. He's so smart out there and competitive, and the skills are all there. Just a little undersized. Still needs to add strength to that frame. But the skills, the skating, the intellect, they're all really good at high level.
Logan Camp, another forward in that Dartmouth lineup.
Yeah, Camp for me is that he's a bottom six forward. Like, I easily can project him. He's smart. He's got decent skills. He can skate. He competes. He's not the most skilled guy out there, because I think sometimes his hands let him down a little bit, but there's a lot to like about his game, and I think he projects easily into a bottom six kind of role at the next level.
And finally, the defenseman Luke Mcclain.
Luke Mcclain, I had some high hopes for him at the beginning of the season. I think he's played well, but he hasn't played as well as I kind of thought he might. He's a big, mobile, defensive defenseman. He could play with a little bit more edge. I think he needs to get bigger and stronger. Of course, he's tall, but he's very lanky. He's the type of guy that I could see as a bottom three or maybe a bottom pairing. But he just needs to be a little bit more confident in his game, I think, and just make good decisions and play a defensive, shutdown type of role.
Well, for most of these players, their season will end here this weekend in East Hants. Some will go on, of course, to the Telus Cup for further viewings.
Yeah, it's an interesting group out here. It's going to be very tight, I think. I came in thinking there was going to be two teams that were going to be in the championship. I'm not so sure anymore. There's some really good competition here. It could come down to the last couple games of the tournament to decide who's going to the championship game.
Well, Chris, we appreciate your insights. Thank you for this.
No, thank you, John.
Chris Mooring of International Scouting Services joining me here at the East Hants Sportsplex, the site of the 2018 Atlantic Major Midget Championships.